Well, we'll just leave it at that. And basically, it's you've hit a plateau.
Have a cheat meal.
Have a cheat meal.
Bit of pre-workout. The half pound one.
Now, unfortunately, we need a better size comparison, because at the moment, people are probably thinking that's just a regular size. That's better. We've got a circuit cup.
Oh my god. I mean, that's pretty big. Go on then. You lot can have it. Have you got a knife to cut it with?
This is Boxy's prep.
Oh, what?
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. 1,000 calories.
Got a knife.
Go slither. No, not a quarter. Like off
A
this.
quarter's easy to.
Dieting, bro. So basically what we've done is we've got a massive one and made it into 4 normal ones.
So, you track that as 3 Reese's peanut butter cups.
Diet hacks. Now, if you take something big and cut it into 4, it's obviously less, isn't it?
That's generally how dieting works.
And if you want
The only other problem we've got is that we now have an open pack here. There's another one.
it down.
And we all know that if it's an open pack, it's going to be emptied.
Yeah, and if we cut that one into 4, then that's just makes
We've
dieting
got another
sense.
2 as well, so we can always, if we mess up, we can always have to try it again.
Cut them all into 4.
And if you're really dieting, just cut them into 8 and just have 2 pieces or something, you know? But what is really scary is that was here for a week in an Amazon box and I didn't open it. I could have.
That's why I didn't tell them what it was.
Just gone in.
Do you want a pack of this cereal? Basically, sugar. This cereal, it's not even called whole grain cereal, because it is sugar frosted sugar with marshmallows, which are sugar. So if you want one, mate, you're more than happy to take it.
I literally eat it on the way home.
There's loads of E numbers in it, so probably good for before training. Approximately 11 servings a pack. I don't think so somehow.
Have you ever measured out 30 grams of granola? 30 grams of granola is 2 spoonfuls. Let's go and train legs.
You gonna say hello? You're not gonna watch the views?
Sup viewers, all one of you. Who clicked on it by mistake? You know, seriously Dan, you coming to the train legs, yeah? You're doing legs. He's doing legs.
Who needs legs, mate? I've walked on them all this way, so they've trained enough.
The only thing you're training, mate, is your mouth. Because you're running that all day long.
Fucking good.
Running that all day long. There's 2 types of people in life, Dan. There's talkers, and then there's doers.
There are.
And you need to decide what type of person that you are.
I don't do a lot. I don't really talk a lot either, though.
You do talk a lot, yeah.
Do I?
Yeah, too much. So what am I talking about now? What are
You're
we
not a talker, you're a doer, so I don't know what you're talking about for. Hitting a plateau, bro.
Yeah.
Shock the body. You hit a plateau, you smash the gatto.
Yeah. Well, we'll just leave it at that. And basically,
literally.
if you've hit a plateau,
Have a cheat meal.
have a cheat meal.
Yeah, have a cheat meal. If you've hit a plateau.
Have a gatto.
What do you do if you hit a plateau? Well, you've probably gone in starvation mode, so you eat more food.
The thing is, it's a real problem because bro science just breeds an absolute cult. Let's say you've got a 100 kilo guy, absolutely jacked, right?
Like me.
And he has a cheat meal at the weekends. But let's say his, metabolic rate, daily what he's burning through, let's call it 3,500 calories a day. Training, he trains like a beast, good genetic freak and everything. So he's on 3,500 calorie a day maintenance, and he diets down on 2,200 calories because he's gone pretty
aggressive.
Pretty broke. He then has a cheat meal at the weekend.
Yeah.
Now, because that cheat meal, let's say it's 3,500 calories, on top of his normal day, still over the week, he's still in a calorie deficit. So this jack guy, he's having his cheat meal, is getting leaner every single week, because he's in a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
Now, he tells his mate, you've just gone up to him, what you now?
I would never go up to him because I'm tiny.
No, but you're like, mate, you're the biggest guy in the gym, and you're jacked,
How do I do it?
and you're 100 kilos, how do I get shredded? And he says, well mate, you need to have a cheat meal, because he has a cheat meal.
Oh, exactly.
And he's like, meal 1 have this, meal 2, and on a Sunday have a cheat meal. Why do you have a cheat meal? Oh, it keeps my metabolism high. Because maybe, let's say on a Monday he feels a bit more energetic, he trains a bit harder, right? Yeah. That's him believing that's confirming his bias, that his metabolic rate is higher, or his metabolism's been boosted. So this 70 kilo guy, like me, back in the day, not too long ago, to be fair.
Me right now.
You right now, will go, right, I need to do that. I have 2,500 calories on my low days, and I have this cheat meal. But for this guy, it doesn't really work for him, okay? Maybe he's just all right. Maybe he's in a very, very mild calorie deficit, or some days even in a surplus, right? But he's not really changing that much. But he's an online coach, and he's then telling his female clients, let's say who are 50 kilos, you need to have a cheat meal. Now everyone's definition of a cheat meal, as we know, even within our Team Box coaches, is very different, right?
Yeah.
What's your version of a cheat meal? What would you go for?
Oh, burger and chips and milk.
You'd have a burger, chips and milkshake. So how many calories is that roughly?
2,000?
2,000. Right, mine is probably similar. If we ask Mike,
Oh, you'd be raiding Krispy Kremes, mate. You'd have no donuts left.
5 to 10,000 calories in a cheat
Probably,
meal?
yeah.
Even Laura would probably just inhale Krispy Kremes.
Oh, she'd have a box of cereal probably.
She would, yeah.
loves a box of cereal.
You know, her cheat meal would probably be more calorific than yours or mine.
Yeah.
Yet her metabolic rate, or you know, whatever, metabolism, whatever you want to define it as, would be lower than us. So anyway, this online coach telling their 50-year-old clients, you need to have a cheat meal.
Yeah.
And that's going to help you get leaner. So what actually happens? That 3,500, 4,000 calorie cheat meal is now putting them in a calorie surplus, and they're not getting leaner, right? But this is how then we end up in a complete different scenario where you've got those people, because they believe you have to have a cheat meal to stay lean when you're trying to get leaner, they then use it as a way to stay lean in their off season. And this is a conversation I had with a client the other day. She asked me, you know, why do people do it? And I said, I think this is why, because they perceive that because this cheat meal keeps them lean, or that as they believe in the prep, that they then apply that same logic to their off season as a way of keeping them leaner. But what unfortunately happens is you're just piling in more calories.
It's funny though, like, because me and Mike have had this discussion before on one of our videos, and it was, if a cheat meal boosts your metabolism, just have one every day.
Yeah.
Because if it boosts your metabolism, then you're always going to be all right.
Boost it right up. Yeah.
So boost it right up to 10,000 calories a day, because then weight loss will be easy, right?
When the thing is though, every Sunday, Domino's pizza and this or whatever. Now, I do actually think a cheat meal has some place within a diet, but I wouldn't call it a cheat meal. I would call it something like an untracked meal, but you're still going to be, what you still need to do is be mindful of the associated calories, but just have an evening where you're not tracking your food. So last weekend when I was away, I had every day, I had a double burger with pulled pork and curly fries. Decent, right? But in the day, because I didn't take my scales away with me, I'm early on in the prep, and I still made, you know, progress last week. Then basically, in the morning I just had a protein shake, and in the evening I just had a protein shake. So I'm hitting enough protein across the day, and I just had this one big calorie meal. Therefore, I can fit that in roughly knowing that I'm on about 3,000 calories a day there. But I didn't have to track it. So while I was, you know, enjoying myself away, I didn't have to worry about tracking and, you know, measuring my food at this stage of prep. You know, another 12 weeks down the line and my calories are much lower, I'm probably gonna have to do that. But again, it's like all about that, sometimes just having that mental release from what you're doing helps you then refocus and reformalize a plan and stuff. But you can't just lose sight of that. And you know, obviously if you're watching this video, by the way, then you know there's nothing wrong with believing that at the moment, but I just hope you think more critically about what is the effects of those calories doing, because there's no way that it can increase your metabolism. The only thing it can do is help you train a little bit harder the next day if you're feeling really run down, or you'd move a little bit more, so like you'd walk a few more steps and stuff, which we would just call a refeed day, wouldn't we?
Yeah, and it's also that effect that if you did have a cheat meal and you had, you know, 4,500 calories and you've been drained for so long, you might wake up the next morning looking incredible because you're full, you're vascular, and then you're like, oh, it's because my metabolism's boosted. It's like, no, it's not, mate. It's because you've got more carbs and you're full, and then you will train well because you've got the energy stored. So it's that's working, not the cheat meal. But it
hasn't really answered the question about how we bust through weight loss plateaus. But anyway, we'll come back to that later. Time train legs.
No clue.
Bullshit.
Thing them jealous youth when I want to see no man reach far, and that's why me no par with no weak heart. All of my friend them a soldier. See man I work hard, but them no want me build me house nor drive out the car. So when me talk, them man they we have to step on. Them have a thing them bad mind we a run bout ya. I kill off every pig and every fabricator. Right now every step when me make, man, I walk with Jack or Rasta. Not fear no while now, who be a
I'm seeing a bright light. We're in a good way. It's all good footage, mate. I'm not going to be sick if that's what you're waiting for. Oh yeah, I'm feeling not so good. It's only on legs I get it. And that's why you should just bench press. No one's ever asked me what I squat anyway, so what's the point in even doing it? Oh my god, they feel like jelly. They don't look very impressive. Oh, horrific. I'm not gonna lie.
He did not look well during that, did he?
Overcooked it, I'm not gonna lie. But now I've got some snacks. I've got muscle mousse, mountain chips.
Are they from the mountains?
Yeah, and they're banging barbecue flavour, and I've got these pork scratching things. So, yeah, I don't think it was very good having a Reese's Pieces Buttercup. No, it's Reese's Buttercup.
Mate, that's what helped you.
Pre-training. Now, you know when you're in that mood for something crispy?
Like pork scratching kind of taste.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you what, it really hits a spot. Give us the breakdown.
About 7 or 8 grams of fat, roughly. I can't do that quick. Yeah, that's pretty decent, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't really argue with that.
You can't.
It tastes real nice.
Imagine having that with a ham sandwich.
The mountain chips, they're a bit like,
They're quite,
is it Wheatos?
quite a sweet barbecue flavour, isn't it?
Remember Wheatos, like tangy tomato Wheatos?
Yeah, I must admit, out of the two,
The protein ones are better. The pork scratching ones are loads better.
yeah, for me that hits a different kind of spot, you know?
I'm hitting MPS with them. I'm all for that.
So I just thought I would take you through what my prep is looking like. So I'm going to share with you one of our nutrition programs that I've ingeniously created. No, I did actually build it, but I wouldn't say it's ingenious, but it's pretty decent. It's one of the best out there that I've seen. Anyway, so as you can see here, hopefully I'll be able to screen record and this will pop up right now. I started prep around this time, around the 23rd of January. As you can see, that was a pretty high day at 666 grams of carbs. And I was about 86 kilos. So week one, my average, because what the best thing to do is look at your average weigh-ins, all right? Not your like day to day, because you'll see that it fluctuates so much. So all I'm looking at is my average calorie intake for the week and also my average weight. So average calories for week one of prep was 3,375. And then also I was 85.9, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you what I lose each week. So week two of diet basically dropped my macros down to around 3,000. So week two dropped my calories ever so slightly, and my average intake was 2,642. And in that first week of, I would say that was my most serious week of dieting, really, I lost 0.6 of a kilo. I had some high weigh-ins at 85.9, and I had some low weigh-ins at 83.8. But on the whole, on average, I lost 0.6 of a kilo from the week before, so that's just over a pound. So then in week three, I only tracked 2 days, as you can see, because I don't know what I did Tuesday and Wednesday, I really can't remember. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was away. I was away with my mates, and basically what I did for those days was I had a protein shake in the morning. For lunch, I had burger, chips, or I think I had lasagna and chips, or I had like chicken and chips. You can kind of see a bit of a trend there. And then in the evening, I again had another protein shake. So I didn't track my food. I just kind of made intuitive choices around my calorie amount, which was around 3,000. And my average weigh-in for that week was 84.7. So again, another drop by 0.6, and I only tracked 2 days that week. Now I don't know my average calorie intake, but I obviously did a good job, and that's the most important thing. So this week, since Monday, I'm down again to 83.9 on average. So again, I'm down by another 0.6. You can see a trend here. So, and so far I've had like a day at 2,700, 2,900, 3,800, went a little bit over my macros that day, and then 2,900. So, yeah, going pretty well, I would say. Now what I've done going forward, just to give me, like, I've got a social event coming up. I'm also going to Edinburgh for a few days with Laura, which I might try and vlog if I can. And we're just going to go away and have a bit of a break. So I've reduced my macros down to 220 protein, 300 carbs, 60 fats, and then I've given myself a high day at 220, 480. And I'm not being like completely OCD anal at the moment about like, oh, I must be within 5 grams, because I just don't need to be, because the reason why next week I'm going to be doing a lot more walking than I normally do. I'm going to be walking around a city for 4 or 5 days. So my activity is going to be much higher. That's going to create me a bit of a buffer. And also because I've got no, like exact timeline here, and I'm well on target losing, 0.6 of a kilo a week. That's like great weight loss. So yeah, everything's going pretty well. So hopefully, it'll be next week, I'll be weighing in, and my average will be, 82.5. I think I'm looking leaner from the progress video, so I'll put that in after this. And you can take a look for yourself about how my condition is changing. But yeah, I'm definitely feeling leaner, which is fantastic and the most important thing. So yeah, having this high day, like I spoke about earlier, I don't like have a cheat meal per se, but I do have a refeed day and a high day. And the reason why I do that, as I sort of discussed, is that it just allows me that little bit of flexibility to eat out. I might not track it at this stage. I might just kind of estimate, like I'm pretty good at looking at food, knowing roughly how many calories are in it. But if I was to plateau, which I'm going to do another video on because I've spent all this video talking about cheat meals. But I will do another video on what happens when you plateau. And if I was going to plateau, then one of the first things I would do is I'd make sure I was tracking every single day. But yeah, for now, the loose structure I have, it works in my lifestyle. I'm obviously seeing progress. I feel like I'm in a good place, and I'm making good gains. So all is well. Training's good, recovery's good. Had a bit of a flu last week, like flu-like symptoms. Had a bit of a head cold and stuff. So that was why a video didn't go out last week. Was basically because of that. I just wasn't feeling great at all, and it was a hard enough job just to kind of get my client updates done, because obviously they take priority for me. Yeah, I can't tell you how difficult it is to try and manage like my own training, my own nutrition, on top of having, pretty much full books of clients, running a business, and then throwing in illness on top of that. And then you've also got social media as well, like these videos, the podcast, keeping up on my Facebook pages, interacting with people, answering people's questions, Instagram, and it just got a bit too much. So what I do in those weeks is I prioritize, look, clients are the most important thing. Everything else can go on the back burner, because they are the most important thing for me. So yeah. Anyway, if I ever miss a video, that's probably why. I'm probably ill, or I'm just completely swamped with whatever. So I hope you appreciate that, and I'll do my best to try and, fill the gap or something, catch up and make sure that I'm still, producing content and everything every single week, as that was one of my New Year's resolutions. Anyway, less about that. So on to next week, away in Edinburgh. I'll see what I can do. And I'll see what I can film while I'm away. But I do want to take a break. The reason why I'm going is, for me, it's a case of just, clearing my mind a little bit more, not because it's so difficult to, when I'm in prep, Laura's in prep, Laura works for Teambox, I work for Teambox. Everything in my life is fitness, nutrition related. and sometimes it can be really hard to escape from. And sometimes you can actually, like, some people go, oh, it's easy for you, you're a personal trainer when it comes to training, but sometimes it's really difficult, because when all day you're writing training programs for your clients and stuff, the last thing you want to do is write your own and then go and train it. So sometimes motivation can be really difficult, but had a really good productive day today in the office with Emil, and Dan, and Mike, and Laura, and obviously not to mention Chris that wasn't here today, but I'll include him anyway. We've had some really positive conversations this week about where we're going to take Team Box, and also Jacob, who is our web guy, who's sick at the moment, but it's so good to get a team together of like-minded people that just want to be better, and all the time we're just trying to help each other. Like, I cannot be thankful enough, like, the amount of trust that these guys put in me, the loyalty that they have to me, each other, and the company. Yeah, like, you cannot buy that. Like, that loyalty and trust is worth absolutely everything to me. So yeah, all good. Anyway, I'm going to take a bit of a break and see you guys next week. Hopefully more progress. See you later.